What's up, everybody? It's your boys, the Coach Potatoes. TJ, Anthony, Ben, back again for episode 6. Again, we're chugging along, getting further than we thought we would. Another episode. It is October 9th, the night we're recording. And so let's get right into it. Big UFC 229. Conor Khabib was the main event. Let's kind of run through the other fights that were on the card before we get into the madness that was the Conor Khabib fight. So, Bill, if you want to pull up the results real quick.
Yep. We got Michelle Watterson over Felice Herod. The Karate Hottie over Lil Bulldog. She's changed that. But I think I picked
nickname, that's for sure.
Well, I think I picked Herod because I prefer the wrestlers, but Watterson, she dominated.
She looked good.
Yeah.
She looked real good. Liked it. Good fight.
Decision. I think maybe the first round she might have lost. That was about it. But she just turned it up.
Yeah.
So good for her. What was she ranked before? I have no idea. But
she was like 8, I think. Like that.
I was gonna say, I think with this, it's a pretty big win. Maybe 1-2 away from a title shot. Second fight, Black Beast, Derek Lewis versus Volkov. The Black Beast.
Yeah, well,
he
got looked good.
Yeah, he got
the first 2 rounds. He got fucking lit up.
Okay.
The first couple of rounds, he was getting tagged, and he got noodly after round 1. He was like when he swung, he was swinging for the fences, and then it took him another 4 minutes to recover from the bomb that he just threw. Luckily, he landed one. Right at the end of the 3rd round, fucking puts him out, gets himself a win, and then gives one of the best post-fight interviews of all time.
His balls were hot.
Yeah, takes his shorts off immediately because his balls were hot. Has the balls to say that in a post-fight interview.
And they're hot.
Wow.
Hot balls.
Okay. What did you say before the fight? Volkov was going to get down and dirty with the Black Beast.
Thought it was Black Beast and balls talk over there for you.
I'm just looking at this. 133 strikes from Volkov, 40 for Lewis. But it only takes 1.
Yeah, he was gassed at 40 strikes? Oh my god.
He was gassed at 40 seconds. He didn't need 40 strikes. 40 seconds in, he was gassed.
Jesus.
That's
awful.
He won, within 10 seconds of the fight being over? 3rd round?
I think he knocked him out with like 20 seconds to go.
He literally just lands the 1 punch. Volkov goes down.
Bam!
Done.
That was awesome. What did he say? He's like,
I need to sit my fat ass down and do some
I'm
cardio
going to
or
sit my
something.
black ass down and do some cardio.
Yeah. Said he wasn't ready for a title fight, but that's what's next on the docket. November 3rd, it's Daniel Cormier.
I'm honestly kind of surprised that they gave him a shot at Cormier.
I'm not. Regardless of what you thought of the Ngannou fight, he won. Ngannou was just fresh off a title fight against Stipe. Then he beats Volkov, another up-and-comer. I mean, who else is there?
You don't think Stipe should get another shot at his belt?
I thought he wasn't going to because of Lesnar, so I kind of thought it was a foregone thought. But if that wasn't going to be the fight that they made, I probably would have thought Stipe would have gotten another shot first.
I feel like Stipe should have gotten it.
Yeah.
Not necessarily immediate, but he should get the first shot.
Yeah, well, honestly, with the Lesnar thing, I didn't think that was an option. So
Well, yeah, I think. Well, the Stipe, as great as he is, I don't think he has the star power that someone does where they like immediately get a rematch. Not that he doesn't deserve it, but I'm kind of with you. I was shocked. I thought when you asked should he be getting to fight DC, I think I'm just shocked that it's happening because I thought Lesnar was going to be the fight. That's why they wanted
yeah.
So I'm not necessarily shocked that Lewis got the fight. I'm just shocked that Lesnar didn't get the fight, I guess.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to do anything with him now. I wonder if this is kind of foreshadowing that Brock maybe is not coming into the UFC anymore.
No, I think I read something that he's just trying to
pass the test, basically.
Well, yeah. He's trying to adhere to their rules because he's been WWE, which I'm sure has a lot of different rules than UFC.
Oh, you mean you can't roid anymore?
For like a PC term, he's trying to be able to legally fight.
There you go. There you go. So I'm happy with that. But yeah, that's true. I don't know what you do with Stipe now because you don't fight Ngannou again. You already beat him.
Maybe if Lesnar gets cleared before DC or Lewis, whoever wins can fight again, Lesnar and Stipe fight. I just don't know if Lesnar would take that because if he loses, then he's not going to get his title.
Yeah, that's
I
another
would.
fight that Stipe is the only one with anything to lose.
Yeah, Lesnar.
Anybody that fights Lesnar is the only one hitting the lose, to be honest.
Very true.
But you get a shit ton of money, so it's.
Well, the thing
Maybe,
with
but he doesn't have that.
the
big
thing with
of a
Lesnar though, Stipe will be quote unquote the safest fight. Then again, he's a great technical boxer. I still think he knocks him out. Or you can try to get him murdered with Ngannou, or put him up against the Black Beast, who can also murder you. So Stipe, it will be a clean knockout, whereas he would probably just get mauled by Ngannou and Lewis. So I don't know. I don't see. That's why I don't want him back. I don't see him competing. He's a great wrestler, but if he can't take a shot,
He's ass.
that's
it.
if you're a heavyweight, you have heavy hitting power. So I don't know who you put that's going to avoid him getting a punch to the face. I don't know, maybe do a Kane rematch when he decides to hobble back to the ring.
It's the fight that'll never happen.
I won't hold my breath.
That to work.
So anyway, move on to Ovince St. Preux and Dominic Reyes. You know,
Reyes look good.
and this could just be because I haven't paid as much attention as I usually do. You know, Ovince St. Preux, I hadn't even heard of Dominic Reyes, but he did St. Preux dirty.
He worked him. He worked him all fight.
Oh yes, he got I think he would have gotten a knockout had it been maybe 5 more seconds.
Yeah.
But he got saved by the bell. Saved by the bell.
Yeah, exactly.
He was going to lose regardless. But I
Kick
think
his ass.
you had 5 seconds. You see him just on the ground. I think the ref calls that. The ref didn't even have time to call it a KO by the time the bell rang. That, for all intents and purposes, was a KO. That was dirty.
Yeah, he looked good. I think he's gonna kind of get on that ones to watch type list where get a win against at least a well known name
Well, you got-
in the light heavyweight.
Well, you
division,
know,
St. Preux.
I looked at the light heavyweight division. It's not.
It's boo boo.
Yeah, it's at one point there was the cream of the crop in the UFC.
Yep.
When you just had Rampage and Evans and Thiago Silva, Liddell, Forrest Griffin, Dan Henderson, Machida, Shogun, and then John Jones runs through all of them. But that was a murder's
Oh,
row.
it's loaded.
It
Yeah.
was super loaded. I looked at it now. I think I saw Ilir Latifi. You know who that has been? Exactly. He's number 3.
I've
Top
never
5.
even heard of that.
He might not even be number 3,
Oh my god.
but he's well, I'm not going to go away from the results because we're talking about it, but he's in the top 5.
That's awful.
Yeah, and I guarantee you no one can nail him. Aside from that, Shogun, but he's not even top 10.
No one's paying to watch him fight.
Not anymore.
And you got,
Yeah.
you got Cormier, Rumble retired. That's when it really went downhill.
Yeah, I think Rumble was good for the division because he was a
Gustafsson,
big name. Yeah.
aside from Cormier, I think Gustafsson's easily the biggest name on there.
Well, the sad part is Gustafsson never fights. I feel like he never even gets
That's
a fight.
true.
He might fight this year.
And again, well, against John Jones, you never know.
Maybe.
But again, it shows how much I don't pay attention because I don't even know why he's not fighting. But moving on, got a bloodbath over here. Tony Ferguson, Anthony Pettis, great fight.
It was a great fight. I'm bummed that Pettis couldn't come back out for the third because I wanted to see them keep going.
Breaks his hand. Yeah, that blows. That's
And it was his right. so that was
occupational
big.
hazard. But not much you can do about it when it happens. You could be like Faber, just fight with your elbows after you break both your hands. But at that point, Ferguson's pressure was just absolutely way too much.
No, I think obviously there's a big question mark around Tony because of his knee. This is him just coming about 6 months removed from tearing his ACL. That was a quick turnaround.
He
for
was
him.
supposed to fight in April.
Yeah, that's a quick turnaround for an ACL tear. And he was back. He looked good. Pettis tested it. To begin with, he came out like his first 2 strikes were.
Oh, he was trying
hits
to
right to that
reach it. Yeah.
And those looked like they hurt him, but Ferguson's pressure was relentless. And he did what he does. He pushes the pace. He controls it.
Pressure fighting. Yeah.
He never gives Pettis any room to breathe. And I think he was winning the fight up until then. Not to say that Pettis was just getting worked. They were going back and forth. It was a good fight, but I think Ferguson was on top going into the third before Pettis had to call it because he couldn't take it anymore.
No, I don't disagree with them calling it. People might give him shit, but dude had a broken hand. He was bleeding. He was the one with that nasty cut on his hairline, right? Yeah. And he got cut.
Yeah. Started with the bow.
He's so
I don't think anyone.
he's saving him from brain damage. I don't know.
I don't think anyone was like talking shit to Pettis. I think they were just more upset because that was like a phenomenal fight.
Well, yeah,
People
I'm not
just wanted to
saying
see it continue. They weren't really upset that Pettis like called it quits. They were upset that they weren't going to get to see a third round,
Yeah.
knowing that Pettis had nothing to lose except for to go for the knockout, basically.
Yeah. No, I agree. So, well, we'll talk about what we think is going to happen to Mr. Ferguson over here after we talk about the Khabib Conor fight. So, facts: Khabib submitted Conor McGregor 4th round. Facts: Conor lost. It
By
was a finish.
neck crank.
Neck
right?
crank. It was a
Because he did
finish.
get the- Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I was watching Joe Rogan. He did like some modifications. You don't want to be in it. Don't be in it.
It's shit.
Yeah.
That's the moral of the story.
Yeah.
Also, facts. Belf was the only one that got it wrong.
Bang.
That's fine.
I basically gave a play-by-play of how the fuck the fight was going to go.
See, well, the worst thing is not only did I get it wrong, but the outcome of him possibly getting a rematch might happen. So not only was I wrong, but the thing that's going to happen that I didn't want to happen will probably happen.
Well, that and you called stuff that you thought were going to happen that did happen. It just didn't go the way you thought, which is, TJ and I both talked about that for Khabib to win, he basically had to take it to the ground, and he did that majority of the time. But you did call it where he got a little cocky and tried to stand a little bit longer than he probably even should have. I think
the third round.
The third round he stood up in the first 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And because he was just swinging. Well, granted, I think he got a little confidence when he tagged McGregor with the one right, and then you called that like he was gonna. Khabib gets a little cocky and wants to try to walk to you.
Well, exactly, and he does that after he's beaten him a little bit. He's tenderized them because now
he's worn him out on the ground a little bit.
Well, he's worn them out, and now they're worried about it, but so they don't expect overhand right to tag you. So he does it smartly. He doesn't do it just for the hell of it. But Khabib won, and then all hell broke loose. I mean,
yeah,
it
was disappointing to see. I think not to say that obviously the whole kind of backstory on that was there was a whole bunch of shit talking going on, and they were going at Khabib about his his father and his religion and his country and all that other shit. So it's not to say that Khabib wasn't provoked, but as the champ and really given his demeanor basically all the way up until that moment, it's like I feel like he just took away from the performance that he just put on. You got a guy in Conor who's arguably, one of the better pound-for-pound fighters in the UFC altogether.
Probably the biggest fighter.
Yes, definitely
he's their
name-wise.
biggest draw. Yeah.
And he fucking worked him. He made Conor a ragdoll around that, octagon for most of the fight. Absolutely displayed, immaculate ground game, controlled his legs, good ground and pound, which ended up turning into submission. And then, it's right after that he jumps into the crowd and mayhem, just absolute mayhem. And then members of his team jump into the cage, fucking sucker punch Conor.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, like, what are you doing? Like, you just dismantled this guy. The guy who's been jabbing at you and talking all this shit. And you just worked him. And I was like, man, don't take away from that. And now, I haven't heard the update. I know the Nevada Athletic Commission they withheld his purse, so he hasn't even gotten paid. Now we're talking potential suspension. I think we looked it up right before we started recording. Dana said that he's not going to strip him of the title, but
well, he says that, but what if it's like a year-long suspension? I think he's already going to eat his words. You're taking the belt away from everybody else who doesn't show up for the next fight, let alone a year. I think that was a mistake of him saying that, because if he's not going to fight for a year, I think they immediately strip him, or an interim, which I don't know, just an excuse to give Conor a belt.
Yeah, I mean, that's stupid. I think the problem there that they could run into is, one, a suspension that could run Khabib into problems with obtaining visas to be in the country.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that until they started mentioning it. I was like,
I don't think it'll go that extreme. Just kind of given what we talked about before with the kind of the superstar athlete treatment as far as the law goes. But I hope it doesn't go.
As good as Khabib is, he isn't, nor do I think he ever will be, the draw that Conor is. So I could see some bias there when they talk about visas and stuff. Well, I don't know what the hell the process is.
I don't know if, and this is going to sound a little political, I think the fact that he's from Russia is going to play a bigger part than people think.
Maybe.
Honestly, I don't know.
I mean,
It makes sense on paper.
There's just on paper it makes different. I think it makes a difference being from Ireland versus being from Russia. Just the way things are, and that I have nothing against rich people. I just think that in the landscape of things, that could play more of a factor than people think. I do think everything after the fight does nothing but help McGregor or Khabib.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, if the whole point is if you take the high road and you do whatever, and Connor's probably the greatest trash talker on the planet, and obviously the stuff he says is horrible and whatever, and he does it to promote the fight, and he does a hell of a job doing it, and there's a difference I think between, not that what he said was the right thing to say, but there's a difference between verbal and like jumping off the stage of the octagon with your legs out, just like going into a crowd and making it a physical thing. It would be. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens. We kind of talked about it a little bit. I think that the UFC is going to make them. If neither of them gets suspended for a long time, I think that the rematch will happen. That'll be both of their next fights.
So talking about what we think is going to happen. So here's my first question though. Had Conor won, do you think there would have been a rematch?
No.
I don't think so either.
I think if the fights went the way they did, where Tony wins against Pettis and Conor wins, Tony's next up. Tony gets to fight him.
Because
I think so as well, just because Conor gets what he wants, and I think it would either be that or the trilogy.
UFC gets what he wants.
The UFC gives Conor what he wants, which is what the UFC wants, because whatever Conor wants makes them the most money.
Yeah, and not only that, but what did Ferguson say right after he won? Conor, what about motherfucker?
Yeah, if Khabib doesn't kick your ass, I will.
Yeah, right? So the UFC gets what they want. Ferguson's going to get what he wants, and more importantly, McGregor gets what he wants.
Yeah.
Now what happened though? Khabib won, so we're talking rematch talks. But had that brawl not happened, do they still rematch?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think Tony still gets the next shot.
Yep, and I think McGregor then does his trilogy.
So like I said, well the brawl kind of gave the UFC an out, because maybe like, oh, poor McGregor, no, he got beat up. We'll give him another shot. They kind of got saved, I guess, having to either choose respect for their fighters or just respect for their wallets. And I think they got it now by this happening to where they could give
both of the same option.
Exactly.
Which is a rematch.
Well,
yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. They can't show their true colors by just saying, "Oh, fuck you, Ferguson. Sorry, we set it up like that. We're gonna go for the money." But now they get it out because of this brawl thing that happened. Now nothing's been official. What is official is, like TJ said, Dana's not going to strip Khabib of his belt.
For pending suspension, if there is one.
Well, so
I guess
that's the thing. If he has every intention of not stripping him of his belt, then I don't think the UFC is going to press any suspensions. That's going to come from the Nevada Athletic Commission. So, which brings me to one thing is, so when Conor attacked the bus, right? Sure, he went to court, but none of that was because of the UFC, right? He committed assault. That was a legal thing he broke. He broke a law. He went to court. UFC did nothing. Now, I'm all for just because like a ref gets a call wrong or blows a call, you need to correct it down the line and then make it standardized everywhere. So while it might not have been fair, they should have came down on Khabib, because you have attack on the bus, you don't do anything. You go out, attack somebody, random person in the crowd. I mean, not random to him, he targeted him. You do nothing. Where does it stop before the UFC goes, maybe we should suspend you, or maybe we should take your title away? Like, what do we really want? An all-out brawl between the fans and the teams? And, well, because Dana had an interesting thing to say. He was on First Take, and there was some reporter, he made a comment that Dana White kind of developed this culture of letting Conor get away with all the shit talk, letting him do the bus thing, not giving him any penalties, culminating in Khabib. What does Jack Nicholson say in Anger Management? Implosive and explosive? He was implosive until he let it all out. And then that was his version of mowing everyone down. So where does it stop?
Well, I think Dana saw it as, up until everything before the Khabib fight, Conor was talking all his trash, getting the ratings up and all this stuff, and no one did anything. So Dana saw it as, well, I'm not losing anything here because he's just talking shit. And, it's just 99% of the time Conor had backed it up and no one had retaliated. You know what I mean? Like, the one thing I wish is that I don't wish Conor had won. The only thing I wish is I wish if he would have won, I could see what would have happened after the fight and if it still would have been a shit show.
I don't think
You're
so.
saying if you think Khabib would have still blown up.
If he would have, obviously it's different. If Conor knocks him out, he's probably not jumping the cage and trying to fight other people. But if the result was different, would it still be that heated? Because I don't know if you guys heard today, but there was a video that came out, and it was them. It was either the third or fourth round. It might have been the second round. When Khabib really started to tag him, and he was on the ground, and McGregor was eating elbows and stuff. And it was a round when Joe Rogan was like, Conor's talking, and then I can't remember the other guy's name. He's like, it's actually Khabib talking to him. And Khabib basically kept saying, like, let's talk, like talking shit to him. And when Conor showed up at the end of the round, he said, it's just business. And Khabib said, well, let's talk. And then kept beating the shit out of him.
Oh, you're saying Khabib took it personally, and Conor was just like,
Conor was just saying, I talk shit because it sells fights and I make more money. Like, and you should be happy about that.
Yeah, well, I don't think that we would have seen, chaos happen if Conor won. Reason I say that is, like the antics that he does or not, Conor is pretty humble in both victory and defeat as far as, to the other fighter. Obviously he does, kind of the shows with his belts and all that kind of stuff. But, like what he did to Aldo, when he knocked him out in 13 seconds or whatever like that. Conor went to him afterwards and said, no, he was kind of tapping him on the chest and we'll do this again. We'll fight again type of thing. Not just in his face, yeah, bitch, I just teabagged your ass in 13 seconds. And the same thing when he loses. He accepts the defeat, moves on, and just, you don't really hear much from him about the fighter, when he loses the fight. So I think it probably would have gone a similar sort of way, mainly for the comment he made, it's just business. He's doing this to just rile people up and just get people excited about this kind of thing, so you can cash in and make more money. That's why he's one of the only fighters making 7 figures a fight, compared to the other guys. You hear all the time talking about UFC fighters who have arguably the most dangerous job in the sports world, and they get paid $50K for a fight, maybe 75 if they get a fight of the night bonus or a knockout of the night bonus. So yeah, I don't think we would have seen it go so crazy had Conor won. Not that I would have wanted to see him win. I think he didn't deserve to win because Khabib just kicked his ass all fight. And
I think Khabib was the first one, too, that didn't really care about the purse. I think other people, when they fight McGregor, maybe not when he was coming up, but after he was the big name that he was, they kind of went with, all right, just let him talk his shit because I'm going to get the biggest payday I've ever had because he talks shit and people like that. And I think Khabib might have been the first one that just said, I don't care how much I'm getting paid. You're talking shit, I'm going to beat the hell out of you.
It's not the mentality.
It was the belt. It was the accolade of being the champion and beating McGregor to a pulp. That's what he cared about.
Well, he didn't want to let the crank go.
Yeah, Herb had to rip him off.
Wow.
Conor.
There was a good 3-4 seconds after McGregor tapped. And normally you see people the instant they do it, they let go because they don't want to do anything. Khabib was not letting go unless Herb tackled him off of there like he did.
Mm-hmm. Explosive or implosive. So either he committed murder or he jumps out of the cage. You pick one.
Yeah.
I think now I would be if neither of them get suspended for more than 6 months, I would be shocked if the rematch isn't the next fight for both of them. Shocked.
Well, so what do you want to see? Also take into account Ferguson winning Pettis, and then what do you think is going to happen? I think you guys have been pretty clear.
I think the
rematch is going to happen.
think if the Nevada, because let's be honest, they get paid from this stuff too. They're not. So I think the smart thing to save grace would be to suspend Khabib for 6 months, and then you do the rematch when he comes back. It's not like he can't train.
No, that's 6 months. Yeah. That's not bad.
6 months is about the time, when you'd fight again anyways. You do 6 months, you let Khabib keep the belt, and then you have a rematch. I think that's, the best outcome for everyone. I hope, that's what I hope happens. If Khabib gets suspended for a year, then I think, I don't know. I don't know if Conor would fight Tony or then go do his trilogy with Diaz. Or if he would wait the year.
Well, I'll say what I want, but I'll let Not TJ.
So what I think will happen is the rematch with Conor and Khabib. I honestly think it will happen regardless of the length of time that Khabib is suspended, if a suspension is given.
I agree, but do you think it's Connor's next fight? I guess if it's a year-long suspension.
Yeah, he went 2 years without fighting. What the fuck does he care?
He's gonna.
You think he'll fight before then?
The UFC is gonna want some moolah between now and then.
Because he's got.
But they're gonna set him up
This
with a
was
safe fight.
This was just the first fight of the 6-fight deal, right?
Yeah.
So he's got 5 more he's got to do.
What I want to happen is Ferguson gets the fight. If they do suspend Khabib, I would like to see Conor fight Ferguson. I don't think he will, primarily because it's not a safe fight. I don't know that he would walk into that fight so confident
And it's
that
not.
he was going to walk away victorious against Ferguson.
And Ferguson definitely plays more into Conor's way of fighting. He's not a wrestler.
Right.
He's literally gonna walk straight up to Conor. So I think that's exactly what they want. But yeah, Conor might take a couple cuts, just like Pettis did.
Yeah.
He's not gonna come out clean, I don't think.
So I have a question, but let's hear what you think first.
Okay, well, if there was no suspension, and the way I would think it would please everybody, maybe not financially, this is actually kind of a blessing in disguise, because now that Conor doesn't have a belt and he's not going to hold up anybody, this is the perfect time to do your trilogy with Nate Diaz. He's scheduled to fight Poirier. But I mean, after that, if you don't know, Takashige and GSP to fight him, get Silva to fight him, do all your super fights that you want, go up to heavyweight for all I give a shit. This is a blessing in disguise, I think, for Conor. Maybe the UFC doesn't see it because he doesn't have a belt. He's not the shiny Irish leprechaun with gold, but he can fight whoever. I want Tony to fight Khabib, and then the winner of that is going to fight the winner of Poirier versus Diaz. And the way it would work is, because I think Poirier is going to win, he's number 3. Nate is like number 9, something like that. Poirier wins, he'll fight the winner of Khabib Ferguson. Diaz lost, he can fight McGregor. What I don't want at all is for Conor to have the next shot. At least, for Christ's sake, give him one fight in between. Just one.
Should he drive back to Feather and fight down there?
If he doesn't have a belt, he can do whatever he wants right now.
If you could pick one Conor super fight, who would you want him to fight?
One Conor super fight.
Yeah. GSP?
No.
No,
Too big of a
because
way different.
it's not only that, but well, shit. The next person would have been Silva, but he's heavier than GSP.
Yeah.
Super fight. You know what? I would love to see him and Dillashaw. Not for the belt. Not for the belt. I don't want him to fucking get a easy title shot. Like, not an easy title shot, but no resistance. Right? They just gave it to him. I don't want them to just give him a title shot at. He's bantam actually.
Dillashaw's bantam.
He's bantam. You know what? Then do a catchweight. That's perfect. So he can't win the belt anyway. Dillashaw's still your champ. He gets a chance to have a super fight. Dillashaw and McGregor.
So you would want to see Dillashaw fight Conor instead of doing a super fight with Demetrius.
This was if I just had the choice of super fight. If you gave me range of anyone, I would want to see Dillashaw and McGregor. What I want to happen is McGregor at least have one fight. Just one fight. And maybe you do the winner of Poirier and Diaz. So either you give him Diaz for the trilogy or you give him Poirier for the next title shot. But I do not want him to get the next title shot. Or another title shot right away. He lost. He got finished. If that brawl didn't happen, we wouldn't be going, oh, poor Conor, oh, I'm sorry you didn't win, you want another shot? No. Just one fight. I don't even care who it is against. Just one. That's all I want between now and Khabib. If Khabib is suspended, you're going to give Tony Ferguson a shot at the now vacant belt, because I think if he's suspended for a year, they're going to, at least an interim, you're going to put Ferguson against the winner of Poirier Diaz, and then the loser can fight Conor. And then if Conor wins, then okay, you can maybe give him potentially a shot. If the other guy wins, then McGregor's null and void because he lost 2 in a row, and now no one cares.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll
Ferguson.
see what happens.
So I guess, in summary, Ferguson. is next in line to fight for a belt, whether it's against Khabib or someone else for the interim. He gets the next shot. That's what I want.
So if Habib, let's say Habib gets suspended for a year, and they go to McGregor and they say, you can fight Ferguson or you can fight Diaz. Is there any way in hell he picks Ferguson? Because the way I see it is it's less money with a higher chance of losing.
I'm not necessarily sure it would be less money because there's a belt on the line.
And it's Conor.
I guess that would be true if they fought for an interim, but if he gets suspended for a year and Dana holds true to his word, doesn't strip him of the belt, and they're just fighting to fight.
If he's just fighting somebody to fight, then there's no way in shit he would take somebody over Nate.
There could still be an interim without them stripping. As much of a, you have a little asterisk. Oh, I was a champion interim. But
people don't forget.
Yeah, people don't forget. I mean, that's a good question. Because you're not going to give him Nate. Nate's already scheduled to fight Poirier. And that's Poirier's time to shine. He's coming off 3-fight win streak. One off of Eddie Alvarez. If he wins, he is prime for a title shot.
When's that fight supposed to happen?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Because my only concern is that I get that Nate's supposed to fight Poirier, but Nate or McGregor, if they're going to fight, one of them's going to have to, wait a little bit longer for this to work. Because if McGregor's like, oh, well, Nate fights in 3 months, like one of them's going to have to wait 9 months to fight, basically, if you're going to fight. So I don't know if that's as big. Now, if Nate's fighting 6 months from now and McGregor could get in another fight and then fight Nate, then it's different. I just, you guys know better than me. I just don't know if Ferguson McGregor would have as big of a draw as McGregor Diaz 3.
I think it might, because obviously he made it very clear in his post-fight interview too. He fucking hates Conor.
Yeah, but no one's talking about that.
Well, that's because of all the shit that went down.
And then I think if you're a normal fan, you know people who McGregor has fought, not people he hasn't fought. And people always like the third. They like trilogies. They like it's 1-to-1. You know what I mean? Like that's the problem with. That's really going to piss Bill off is if Habib McGregor fight again, I think we all probably think Habib would win a second time, probably pretty easily. But if McGregor somehow won, guess what their next fight is? A third. No, they're not fighting anyone else. The next year is going to be Habib McGregor 2 and 3 if they fight again. So that'd
be shitty.
I mean, I guess the good thing is that if they just got the second one over with and Habib won, then you
just put it to bed.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. But if McGregor somehow landed one and somehow won, there would be no debate what each of their next fights would be.
Well, that's interesting because it's a double-edged sword for the UFC. I guess not double-edged, but what happens if pretend he didn't get suspended, pretend the brawl never happened, he got an immediate rematch. Bullshit, but I see them doing that. He gets an immediate rematch. He loses again. That's kind of it for his belt run and lightweight. If you lose twice to the current champ, it's kind of an unspoken rule. You will never fight for the belt again until that guy loses the belt.
Yeah.
Then that's why
then you go
the Demetrius Johnson division is so boring as shit. None of those people can fight him again because they've all lost 5 times.
Yeah.
No. So I think then, again, this is perfect for Conor. Go do your super fights. Fight whoever the hell you want.
Yeah, but I think you do that after. Because then if you lose to Habib a second time, and you can't fight him again, right? Then you have Diaz to fall back on 3. That's going to make you money. Then you can do a super fight. And who knows between then, if Habib is still fighting, if Ferguson beats him, you haven't fought Ferguson yet. You go fight Diaz, Ferguson, Habib fight, you see what happens, and then you can go back if you want.
I think a fight that people would like is McGregor-Pettis. Because Pettis is no wrestler. He puts on a show. Showtime. That's why they call him. That is exactly, I think, what the fans would want, is just a striker going against a striker. And Pettis he's got a good ground game, but he's not the kind of guy that's going to take you down. It's just, you get him to the ground, and he's going to submit you. I think they said during the fight, he has the most submissions off his back.
Yeah.
But again, McGregor is not even going to try to put him in that position.
Yeah. Well, the 2 most creative strikers probably in the game.
Yeah, so that would be an interesting fight. But, well, I was going to say that would be for a fun fight, but that could be his one that he does. Actually, that'd be perfect because he just fought Ferguson. They both lost. I'll do that. Pettis McGregor. Not only do I think that'll please the fans, and I think McGregor might be the better striker, maybe not all-around fighter, but the better striker. McGregor wins, and there you go. There's his excuse to get that rematch with whether Ferguson has the interim, whether it could be can still fight.
Right.
I like that. Rodrigo Pettis. There you go.
So I guess we'll keep an eye and see what happens. I mean, I think the suspension is going to be the first thing that kind of dictates where everything goes, and if there is one and how long, and kind of have to go from there. So let's transition real quick before we get to the NFL and touch on some baseball, because playoffs have started and we haven't done too much on baseball recently. So at the time of this recording, the Brewers and the Dodgers have already advanced to play each other in the NLCS, and the Astros have already clinched a spot in the ALCS. Currently, right now, the Red Sox are up 2-1. They also have a 4-1 lead in the bottom of the sixth, and are kind of in the driver's seat to clinch also. So we've got obviously one series still to be decided, but let's start in the NLCS with Brewers and Dodgers. I knew the Brewers were good. I didn't think they would make it to the NLCS. Good.
They've looked tough. They've looked very tough to beat. Obviously they took out the Cubs in the playing game. They ran a train on the Rockies. 3 straight sweep.
Yeah.
And now they
After the Rockies beat the Cubs also.
Yeah. I mean, I think Milwaukee's going to come out of the NL. They've just looked good. Their pitching is solid. Their hitters are fucking nuts. What's his face? Yelich is just an absolute animal.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Yelich might be the MVP, and they bolster with some guys that know how to win. They got Lorenzo Cain, who's won a World Series. They've had some guys like Aguilar, who's kind of come onto the scene this year and done really good. So they got Moustakas, who's obviously won a World Series, and Braun's been there, and we know how good he can be. So playing the Dodgers, I think it's one of those things where it's like, and baseball is one of every sport kind of has this, but baseball is a big sport where it's not necessarily how good you are on paper. Like, it's how well you play defense a little bit more, who you play where, situational hitting. A walk is just as good as a single. Baseball is more of that where it's like, normally the best team on paper in the NFL is going to win the game. And baseball's a little bit different. I think the Dodgers are, name recognition wise, are definitely probably the better team. I mean, they've got perennial all-stars, it feels like it. I mean, their infield's like Machado, Turner, Bellinger, Brian Dozier. Bellinger is going to be a multi-time all-star. The only reason he isn't is because he was a rookie last year. You basically have perennial all-stars at every position on the infield. And you have, obviously Seager's hurt, but he's on your team. Kershaw's there. I'm kind of with you, though. In baseball, when a team gets hot, you kind of roll with them. And I think, while I don't think the Brewers are going to run through the Dodgers, I do think they win in 6.
I think we could see them go through in 5. I don't think they'll sweep them, but I think they're going to run through them.
Where's Game 1? Game 1 is in Milwaukee on Friday. Yeah. So they do have home field, so, and that's one city that they get around their team. So I think we're both in agreement there on Milwaukee. Bill Full, pencil you in from Milwaukee. We'll help you out on that one. And then obviously the Astros are already in. It's scary. When Dallas Keuchel's your third pitcher, come on.
The Astros are good, man.
You're throwing out Verlander, Cole, Keuchel, 1, 2, 3.
Their pitching is phenomenal. Their hitting is, it speaks for itself. They've got just a fantastic lineup. And they're rested. They're going to be rested, playing Boston. Well, assuming that Boston hangs on tonight and clinches, they'll get Boston with an extra day or 2 rest. Man, I would be nervous if I was a Sox fan. That's for sure.
Yeah, the one thing that I think will save Boston is they will get home field, just because they had the record.
Yeah.
And they're, ever since the 04 run, they've kind of just been magical at Fenway and really hard to beat. Now they have to, they're not going to be perfect. The problem is with the Red Sox is that I don't know, the Yankees pitching is good, but they're not going to score 16 runs a game on the Astros.
No.
And I think if you're lucky if you get 5 or 6. And the question is, when you go from Sale to just garbage in the middle to Kimbrel, you got to figure something out in the middle, because the Astros, their lineup doesn't quit either.
Yeah.
And I mean, they have a guy there, Altuve's 5'5", and he has enough pop to hit a home run anywhere. So it's going to be, if It's basically going to be, can the middle relief, I think, of the Red Sox hold up? Because I think the Red Sox offense is good enough to score some runs, but they're not going to score 10 a game like they were in the regular season. So can the middle relief hold up? And then after Sale, can Eovaldi and then Porcello tonight pitch as well? Because I don't believe in Price at all.
Well, nobody should. He's got the third worst ERA in postseason history. He's absolute trash when it comes to playoff time. But yeah, I agree with you. I think the middle relief of Boston is going to be the make or break for that team. They've got some aces on the squad that can get them through. I think it will be interesting to see what kind of success the Red Sox lineup has against those three aces for Houston. Because Verlander's been lights out, absolutely lights out. Dude just strikes out like everybody and their mom, just for fun. And yeah, I mean the Astros hitters, they're not necessarily guys that everybody hits 50 home runs a year or anything like that, but they small ball you to death. They'll single and WRS all day long, and just put up 4 or 5 runs, and they know they've got the pitching to hold it. So yeah, could be an interesting series.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, obviously the major pitchers in there have been in the American League basically their whole careers. Verlander, Sale, Cole's new to the American League, being with the Pirates, so the Red Sox haven't seen a lot of him. And Eovaldi for the Red Sox, who pitched really well last night, has only had like 9 starts this year, so we'll see how well he can hold up. But I think I'm going to go Red Sox, Brewers, now that we've kind of seen how it goes, and then I think, being a homer, I'm hoping, and I think the Red Sox will win.
As much as it pains me, I think I agree with the outcome of the championship series. I think it will be Milwaukee-Boston, but I think Milwaukee is gonna take.
Have they won a World Series before?
No. Brewers have never won. So I think we could see a first timer, and yeah, but kind of like you said earlier, I think you got to ride the team that's hot. I don't think there's any team in baseball hotter than Milwaukee.
That is true. All right, so let's go through.
Wait, I'm going to do baseball. But I literally just got an ESPN update that Poirier is out of his bout versus Nate Diaz due to injury.
Sign you up, Connor.
Due to injury.
Injury, yeah. In other words, Dana came up, took a baseball bat, and went, "You're out."
Here's 100 G's to tweak your ankle.
No,
that's just too coincidental. I just wanted to say that we're not gonna go into it. Let's move on.
That is pretty.
Throw that in there.
All right, so recap week 5 of the NFL.
I think I said week 4, but it is week 5 already. That's like the worst. It's like how fast the damn season goes by in the NFL, and then you have to wait forever. So
yeah.
All right, you have the scores up, Bill?
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
All right, we'll start with Thursday. Patriots beat the Colts. Extra. Read all about it. Yeah.
No shock.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, the Colts. Eric Ebron was there. They didn't have Hilton. They didn't have Jack Doyle. They're just not good.
Didn't have Hilton either. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a struggle. I think I was the one that picked the Colts.
Did you say that?
Is there an echo in here? No, they didn't have Hilton. They didn't have Hilton either.
Well, he's a big part.
Yeah, I picked the Colts. Because they were on a string of playing some pretty decent football, and then the Patriots, they're starting to look scary. Getting some weapons, kind of around Brady.
1-3 was on a string of playing decent football.
Again, you guys are thinking strictly record based. I'm just talking about just competitive game.
I get that, but they're playing the Patriots, and
You
they're
know what?
1-3.
I'll back that up because my Browns, what was
that?
The B-Rounds. Baker taking them to the Mayfield of Dreams. I saw something. They have been tied with their opponent.
The Mayfield.
If you throw it, the interceptions will come.
I think almost every single quarterback had an interception this past week.
Oh my God.
Whatever. We'll get to them.
The Mayfield of Dreams.
The next one I got, the Bills beat the Titans.
I know, I'm pretty upset about that. I'm gonna beat the fucking Bills.
That was your time to take the lead in the division, and you went, eh.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair,
stay
we're
Jacksonville.
leading the division.
We technically are
Still, but they have the same record.
We technically are still at first because we had the tiebreaker with Jacksonville because we beat them. But this is like the ultimate Titans game where if we're playing someone good, we basically play to the level of our competition. If we're playing the Eagles or the Jaguars, we play really well. And if we're playing a team that's ass, we play like ass. Now we also are we're a very good team at home and a horrible team on the road. So that being said, there's no excuse to lose to the Bills, and you know, I don't know if it's our line isn't as good before, or we're just so predictable on offense. But Derrick Henry is just like awful. I mean, we had like a 3rd and 1, and we had Deion Lewis running our 3rd and 1s.
Well, he has the height to sneak through their legs.
So, I wish they would just. I mean, I get it. You want to play this like run first defensive team, low scoring game, and a lot of teams have success with that. But at some point, we need to figure out if Mariota's the answer, and him throwing it like 15 times a game and them all being like screen passes and letting us figure that out. So I'd rather them just let him sling it.
Did you guys hire the Bears offensive coordinator?
Probably.
For like the past decade?
Probably. But if we throw a ball like we did throw one deep pass downfield, the guy dropped it. So I was just like, great. Like Mariota hit him right in the hands and stride. Just fucking dropped it. Would have won the game. I was just so livid. So
that's awesome. Oh well, Bills ain't going anywhere. Let's see here. Next, I got the Bengals over the Dolphins.
Come from behind victory.
Mm-hmm. Well, Dolphins were brought back to earth last week against the Patriots, and now they're getting hit by a team who doing better than I thought they would. Bengals actually, you know what? I don't know the record of that
4-1.
AFC North. 4-1.
Yeah, 4-1.
So
They're leading the division now since Baltimore just lost.
Yeah, you're right. I was about to say I don't know the record of everyone else, but 4-1, yeah, that's definitely going to put them in the lead. Damn. Did not see that coming. I would not.
No. Well, we kind of touched on it, I think, last week. You know, Dalton's kind of getting his feet under him. He's starting to sling it around. Finds A.J. Green, pretty frequently now. And A.J. Green is you could probably make an argument at least top 10 receiver in the league. Maybe approaching the top 5.
I thought he always had that potential. It was just Dalton holding him back. And when we know Dalton finds his best player, shocker, they win.
Yeah.
But you know what? Joe Mixon, I think he's been a surprise too. He's turning it up when he's healthy.
Agreed.
So they have a good offense all around. Next, on my phone, got the Browns over the Ravens. Trap game, called it.
Browns watch.
It's okay.
They tried to lose it.
Yeah, they did everything they can to fucking Browns that game up.
Oh, yeah.
Luckily, the missed extra point that they had didn't cost them the game.
Kickers, man. I mean, they've
had a rough day
they've had
on Sunday.
Extra shitty luck with kickers, but just across the league. We got missed extra points galore.
Fucking dump ass Mason Crosby missed 5 field goals and an extra point for the Packers. I'm sure they were livid.
Who has Mason Crosby on his fantasy?
It makes you feel better. I had Dan Daly who missed 2 field goals, and I was with them last night, and I lost my fantasy matchup by 1 point. So I remember that if he just would have made one of those 2 damn 30-yard field goals, I would have won my damn matchup.
I am sorry.
Oh, that's awesome.
But there you go. Browns watch. Be on the lookout. They might not win the division. Trap game. That's all the Rams were.
Is every game a trap game against the Browns? Or?
Basically.
I was going to say, they said during the game that they have been tied with all of their opponents in the fourth quarter. That's kind of, I don't know if that's a testament to the team is just shocked and they don't know what to do against the Browns because they're like, oh, I thought they were shit.
The best
or
part
they actually have a good defense.
Best part is I think your Browns are still going to be the worst team in the division because
the
rest of the division is good.
I thought the Bengals were going to be last, the number 1, so sorry, Browns.
There might be Browns and Steelers fighting for whoever's going to finish last.
It's a damn tie.
There you go. The damn tie. I feel like they want us to have another tie. I feel like they wanted a tie every week. The football gods, they tried.
Yeah,
they tried.
Yeah, we keep getting all these fucking overtime games. And every time it gets down.
And no one can make field goals either.
Yeah.
So
there you
double
go.
whammy.
That's probably a straight effect because no one can make damn field goals.
That's just shitty.
So next one I got Lions beat the Packers. I haven't watched a game of the Packers outside of when he got thrown like a ragdoll versus the Bears. Is that man still injured? What's up with the Rodgers there? I say Rodgers because he's the only person on that team that's going to win it for them. So,
well,
they lose, it's because of him.
He threw for 442 yards and 3 touchdowns. So, injured or not, I think it's the fact that their defense is still just one of the worst in the league.
It's ass.
It's just so, I mean, it's just.
It is ass. When as an NFC North fan, I was very happy to see the Packers lose because that just puts them out of the game. Gives the Bears a little more breathing room.
How many games are it? Have you played the Vikings yet?
No.
That'd be a good game.
We haven't played any divisional games yet. Other than the Packers, we played the opening night, Monday night game.
How many games are you ahead? in the division.
I heard full game now that the Packers lost.
Bears are 3-1 because they had a bye.
Oh, they're 2-2-1. They got the half game.
Yep.
They also have a tie. Yes. So they're a full game technically because the Bears are 1 game behind.
Yeah.
And they have only played 4 games.
That's right, because he lost to them. I have the Chiefs over the Jaguars. I think that was a testament to, it isn't just Mahomes, because Mahomes didn't have any throwing touchdowns. He had 1 rushing, threw his first pick.
2.
I don't even think, he threw 2 picks?
He threw 2 picks.
He threw 2 picks. He is human. What was I going to say? I don't think he broke 200 yards throwing, and they still put up
313 yards.
I lied.
This game was weird, just looking at the stats now, because I watched a decent amount of this game. And he did throw for 313, he had 2 interceptions, he did run for a touchdown. I just think Jacksonville, their defense is so good, and their offense is just so shit, that...
Well, when Bortles
it
throws
made
a pick 6, your defense can't.
I mean, it made the
do much.
Chiefs' defense look good. The Chiefs' defense is not good.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. The Chiefs, the Jacksonville, their other loss, they have 2 losses this year besides this one, was against the Titans, and they scored 6 points. Their defense held the Titans to 9, and they lost the game.
Yeah, that's pretty shitty.
Bortles threw 4 interceptions, and one of them was the one that he just threw right at his offensive lineman's helmet. That bounced up in the air and was picked off.
Yeah, I saw the highlight.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, I don't even know who Jacksonville's backup is, but they need to start entertaining putting him in the game.
I don't know.
Bortles is ass.
I don't know why that they didn't entertain trading for Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah.
The Saints basically traded nothing, and he's not going to play because we'll get to Breeze in a second in his legendary night last night. But why would you trade for? We know what Bortles is. He's ass. He's occasionally good. He does have a game he had a good game. I'm not going to lie. When they played the Steelers in the playoffs last year, he threw for 5 touchdowns and they won 49-42. He had a good game. That being said, he also has more often these 4 interception games than he has 4 touchdown games.
Yeah.
So if you just had someone in the middle consistently,
if they're that desperate, they can also entertain RG3.
No, I wouldn't be that. We ain't that desperate.
Well, Blind Squirrel finds a net every now and again, so maybe we'll get another 5 touchdown game out of Blake.
So
You will.
Yeah.
in 1 game, not over the rest of the season.
I think I'm modeling on Kansas City though. If they're gonna win when Mahomes doesn't throw a single touchdown pass by 16 points, then
Well, that's what I said last week. You could stop him all you want, but you still have Tyreek Hill, who's also a returner. That's scary as hell. You have Kareem Hunt. I don't know how he's doing this year. He was the rushing leader last year.
he had 87 yards and a touchdown in the game, so he was one of their touchdowns also.
Yeah, decent. I think Mahomes has just been lighting everybody.
Oh yeah, he's usually
there.
in the spotlight, but they have a good team all around. I'm surprised their defense isn't better with Houston and Tom Ali.
I think it's just their secondary.
I was gonna say, I guess
no
the pass
Peters
rush is probably fine.
Yeah.
It's just it'll be Hunt will have bigger numbers later in the year when it gets colder and they can't throw it every play. And
Do they still have Barry? Eric Barry in the back? Or has he not been there since?
Is he injured? I think he's injured.
he's
Is he
injured.
injured? I like good safeties, so that's why I only know about him. Peters. We'll talk to Peters when we get to my thing, but anyways, so yeah, Chiefs. Well, I would love if both teams were 11-0 when we played them Monday night. I was wrong. It is in Mexico City, but it's a Monday night game. So yeah, I doubt we'll be 11-0. I doubt they'll be 11-0 at week 11, but one can dream. Next, I got Jets over the Broncos.
I was definitely shocked by that.
I don't know. Denver's
Their offense is so.
Case Keenum is the definition of a systems quarterback. Something I didn't even know what it was until people started calling Goff it, and I was like, "You're retarded. Go away."
Their defense is phenomenal, though. But
Darnold threw 3 touchdowns.
yeah, he finally bounced back a little bit and played a decent game because he's just been sucking balls all season.
I don't think they're. I'll be honest.
And Crowell went off. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
200 yards rushing.
Watching the games, I don't know if there's a perennially super awful team in the NFL. I thought that for the Bills, the first 2 weeks, because they didn't look good. And then they beat the Vikings. And the next game after they played, but they played them close. And they just beat Tennessee. So, I mean, I'm looking at the Jets, and I would have thought they'd be down there. I mean, I guess the Cardinals are probably like the one bad team, but Rosen hasn't looked bad either. And the Cardinals did just get a win.
Didn't they win? Didn't they beat the Niners? The Niners are pretty shitty.
Well,
yeah, they just had that's some awful luck.
There's no time to Garoppolo with not having Garoppolo.
Garoppolo. It's not as funny as you say it. That's why I'm not laughing.
It wasn't funny the first time.
It's equally disappointing.
Well, I mean, but even before the Garoppolo thing, you lose Jerick McKinnon. It's like, oh, we got ourselves a running back. Nope.
Hey,
no, we got ourselves a quarterback.
Matt Breida's pretty good.
I'm not saying. Well,
I think they
I'm not saying
he's
he's bad, but this happened before the season started.
That's true.
So that was the mentality going in. It's like, oh, okay, we'll Garoppolo. Well. As much as I like to give them shit because they're in our division, I don't wish injuries upon anybody. That just sucks.
All right, let's finish week 5.
Or not.
Week 5. You settle down. Steelers over the Falcons. Yeah. I
don't know if I'm shocked by the outcome. I'm shocked that the Falcons are 1-4.
That's
and
exactly
I'm also
what
shocked that the Falcons only scored 17 points because the Steelers defense has not looked good either.
They're not good.
Yeah, and the Falcons have been lighting it up the past few games, so I was shocked that they only put up 17. But who knows? Maybe the Steelers are kind of starting to find their footing.
I mean, they're 2-2-1 also.
I think they finally accepted that they're not the defensive stalwarts that they used to be. They're an offensive team.
Yeah.
I don't know why you try to hide that. You have probably one of the best 1-2 punches at receiver. James Conner had a phenomenal game too. He's shown sparks, but again, I think they need the consistency of a Bell. So unfortunately, I don't think Conner's their answer at running back. And you got Big Ben. Their offense is.
You could say he's not answering the bell. That's a pretty good one. Go on.
We needed a delay there.
Yeah.
Moving
Next
on.
game.
Whatever. Panthers over the Giants. I was surprised how close this game was.
Well, that's because they had OBJ throwing the ball instead of Eli.
Exactly.
I've said it before. I don't know what they still see in Eli these past 3-4 years. He has not looked the same Manning that we know.
Well, OBJ just made news about that, and they asked the Giants head coach about that after the game.
U of A is calling me. I will not give you more money. But if you're watching,
U of A plug. Alumni Association. Yeah, OBJ came out and basically talked shit, saying that he hasn't had a chance to really show his potential and show what he can do because he's not getting the ball as often as he should, which is a little dig at Eli saying he can't sling it anymore. We need a young gun behind center, which we were talking about a little bit before we started. I agree with Ben. I'm not sure he's entirely wrong.
I don't think he's wrong. But OBJ, he made the bet. He's got to win it. He's the one that signed the contract with the Giants. He didn't have to do that. He could have gone somewhere else. So, I mean, granted, Eli's on his last legs, and they should get someone in there. But if he's really that concerned about it, he didn't have to sign the big deal with the Giants, and he could have tried to figure out how to get out there. But because to be honest with you, as not great as Eli is, unless you bring someone in free agency, which a quarterback is very hard, very rare to bring in. I mean, the best free agency quarterback this year was Cousins.
Yeah. And
that's because he wanted out. And no one's really signing up to go deal with OBJ and the Giants. Let's be honest. So, I don't think they're going to it's not like Aaron Rodgers is walking in the door.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean, to play quarterback for the Giants. So, OBJ is just going to have to, it's going to get worse, I think, before it gets better, as bad as Eli is. Because you're probably going to have a rookie or someone like a Keenum who's not going to be that great either.
Right.
Or Fitzmagic. You're going to have someone like that walk in the door before you have someone who's...
I was going to say, hey, OBJ is going to get the ball. And now they have an up-and-coming Sterling Shepard. Honestly, the quarterback position, now Saquon at running back, that might be what's holding them back. I just said he hasn't, been killing it the past 3-4 years, but it is a Manning brother. He is a 2-3 times Super Bowl champ? 2 times? 2 times Super Bowl champ. I understand it's hard to move away, but I don't know. But that's what OBJ does. He doesn't get the ball.
The Giants just need to have one of those conversations where it's like, we think you should retire before we cut you. Like, come back next year, we'll say it's your last year, and we'll do the right thing, we'll let you play, and then you're going to retire. So you don't have the investment of us cutting you.
If the Giants were smart, they should have gone for Darnold. Have him behind Eli this entire year, and then, because that is what I want for any rookie, is not to just be thrown to the fire, risk injury, ruin your whole career. You play behind a veteran,
Is he playing in any game risking injury?
Well, especially if you're Lamar Jackson and you're never going to throw it, you're going to constantly run it. There goes your knees. There goes your knees eventually.
He's a quarterback. There's a lot of people with a fucking quarterback who can't throw the ball with the
First
shit.
of all, if you want him for the future, stop letting him constantly run. It's not even a fake out anymore. You know what he's going to do.
I don't disagree with you, but I think that Eli probably told the Giants that I'm going to play 2-3 more years. And they said, okay, we have a chance to get Saquon Barkley, who has a chance to be a once-in-a-lifetime running back and has looked good so far. We could get a quarterback next year that can sit behind Eli.
That's a stretch.
If he plays next, well, like let's say, I mean they're not good. They're 1-4 now. So say they have a top 5 pick. They could be. I mean, they could, I guess, mathematically be in the 1 pick, because I think the Cardinals were the only team that didn't have a win, and they just won. So
mathematically, I think the leader is to win with the Redskins.
Well, no, I mean like whoever's going to get the first pick. So let's say they get the first pick, and you can draft someone like Tua, and have him sit behind Eli for 1 year. Then you got Tua, Barkley, OBJ.
I don't think he leaves though. I think Jalen Hurts leaves, and Tua's going to want to stay.
Jalen Hurts not going pro though. And sure as hell not get drafted in the first round. Yeah. If anybody drafts him, I'm laughing at that franchise for the rest of their lives.
I don't think Tua gets out though. He needs.
I don't know what his.
He wants that Heisman.
Don't you have to be a junior? He's only a sophomore, or is he technically like a redshirt sophomore? So he could.
No, he's a sophomore because he played last year.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if he could leave yet, but still, there's obviously you got to remember that they're always looking at who's like next up too, and there could be a guy that they saw that they like that could be in the draft this year. So.
Yeah. Will Greer type?
Maybe.
Or what's his face from Oklahoma?
He's gonna play baseball. He's already made that clear. Yeah.
Well, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I can't remember his name right now, but I'm pretty sure
Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray has already signed his deal to play baseball, so he's just kind of playing football because he enjoys it, mama.
Browning.
Not too sold on him.
I'm not either, but if
you want
to steal, if you want to take a bet on him, if you're not going to get a first round QB, you're going to get someone like that in later rounds to develop.
Don't you like it turned and he plays like we do, because it always seems to happen.
Well, hope you're developed, because
that's just a curse.
They always say that, we're like, oh, we're going to let him sit for the year, and then you go 0-3, and the fans are booing and calling his name, and then they're in there.
I think everybody knew Tyrod was going to get injured once they said that he's going to be the starter and Baker's going to be waiting in the wings. Everyone was like, he's getting injured. I don't know how, but he's getting injured, and bam.
It is true, though. Like, I'm trying to think of when people sit for a decent amount of time, they end up normally being pretty good. Just the problem is that a lot of teams can't afford to do that. Like, the only two that come to mind are Rodgers and Garoppolo. That, like, sat for 2+ years and then got to play, and they were both pretty good.
Well, okay, yeah, if you're going to say, like, well, jury's still out on Garoppolo, but if you're going to say good, because others come to mind, Castle, he did okay. That's why I said the good thing. But he definitely benefited from sitting and not immediately starting.
By benefit, you mean just go to another team and then suck balls?
Mahomes? You forgot about Mahomes already?
Mahomes did see, I guess, he only sat 1 year, but yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You sit, you learn, and then you just...
Matt Castle was the
Jared Goff sat a year and then was good.
He started
like the
last
game.
5 games.
Yeah. Well, he sat for a while. He started after what? They fired Fisher?
Fisher. I think actually Keenum was our quarterback and they just benched him. Because, hey, shocker, we weren't winning.
Maybe you start naming the teams that Keenum has not played for. That's going to be a short list of teams he's played for. All right, let's finish this week so we can get the next week before people fall asleep on us.
Which one did we just talk about? Oh, we got Chargers beat the Raiders. Hey, shocker, Gruden lost again.
Yep, it's not good. They got 9 more years of that because he signed that 10-year deal. So.
$10 million a year.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
He's just happy
he has
Vegas.
I was saying, That's what they were saying. He has the ultimate job security because when you change venues like that, you want stability pretty much everywhere else, including head coach. Not that he was in danger after 1 year.
That people are going to go watch because they're just new.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
So, Rivers Elite. Yeah, Vikings and the Eagles.
God.
Game of the week. Vikings beat the Eagles.
Yeah.
NFC East looking real doo-doo right now.
Yeah.
Vikings needed that win, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
They
Because they were going down.
They would have been 1-3-1.
With the emergence of the Bears, and then you always have a dangerous Green Bay team just because of Rodgers. Yeah. If they lost again, that's... They're going. They got 2-2-1. Well, there you go. They're 2 losses away from already doing worse when Keenum was there. And when that happens, you both can second.
No, the Eagles are. I'm just looking at the schedule real quick. They've got an extremely hard schedule.
They
So
help us eventually.
I mean, they've got the Giants this week. We'll get to that, but then they've got like Panthers, Jags, Saints, Redskins, Cowboys twice, Rams, Texans, Redskins again, all still left.
Oh.
So they don't really have. I mean, the Giants maybe because they've got Giants twice. Other than that,
You know what, Giants? Just because they were so shitty last year, and they're going to get the last place teams for those extra 2 games, they might sneak in there and get
the draft.
Get the division.
They're 1-4, and I even picked them to finish second in that division.
The leaders of the division are 2-3 or 2-2-1.
2-2 is the Redskins because they had a bye week.
Did they lose last year? Yesterday?
Yes, Redskins lost.
Oh, 2-2.
Yeah, they're 2-2.
All I'm saying is they're 1 game behind. As shitty as they've been playing, they're 1 game behind.
I think they're like, I guess 1.5 because they have 4 losses and the Redskins only have 2.
Oh, and they lost to division rivals.
Yeah.
Well,
We'll
on
see.
paper, they're 1 game behind. Anyway.
For sure, on paper and normal, not on paper, it's the same amount.
You done?
Yeah, finish this week.
All right. Cardinals and 49ers. Thanks, Arizona, for showing that game.
Yeah.
Cardinals won, yeah, but Cardinals won, though. Hey, so if you're a Cardinals fan, thanks for watching.
Yeah, all 10 of you are celebrating.
All 10 of you in Arizona are
And the
celebrating.
Cardinals had their longest passing touchdown in franchise history, 75 yards.
By Mr. Rosen, I did not know that.
To Christian
I was
Kirk, rookie to
never-
rookie.
Rookie. I was never going to watch the highlights of that game.
Never.
Well, good job, Rosen. You got your first win for your team. You're not winning the division, sorry. Well, so
Is that hope?
I skipped.
It's similar to the Giants, they can sneak in there.
Yeah, I grew up to Bill. I think sneak on in.
Yeah, when
Okay,
when everyone else is 2-3 or 2-2, now when the division leader's 5-0, and you already lost to
They
them.
finished last place last year, so they get those 2 sheet teams extra games.
I'm just saying.
On paper, they're only 1 game on.
They're 5 games behind.
Why?
Yep, because they lost to us.
No.
Speaking of us, we beat the Seahawks.
Barely.
I know barely.
Barely. You
I know
squeaked
barely.
it out.
Yeah.
You guys always have a tough time with the Seahawks, though.
They just have a tough time in general because
So
their defense has not been good.
They haven't. And you know what? We're only down 1 starter in Talib. That's it. Theoretically, we still have the better of the 2 in terms of freshness. In Peters, he got smoked. 3 of those touchdowns were his fault. 3 of them were his fault. Period. He got the interception the first game. You know, we murdered. Oh, we didn't murder him, but we beat him pretty decisively. Murdered the Cardinals. And then between the Chargers, the Vikings, who the fuck did we play? The Seahawks, we've given up over 80 points. 80 in 3 games. It just takes our offense to have 1 bad game, and they lose. It just, for whatever reason, Goff can't complete a pass. Gurley can't get more than 1 or 2 yards. Relying on our defense? That's an L. Give us the L, coach.
Yeah.
But, hey, we did win. By an inch or a mile, we won. And then rounding off, we had the Sunday night game, Cowboys-Texans. Texans won.
Squeaked it out. OT.
You play to win the game, unless you're Jason Garrett. with one of the best running backs in the league, and you don't run on 4th and 1. No, but hey, you lost. Sorry. And then Redskins Saints. Record-breaking day for Breeze. Yep.
Dude's phenomenal. Just there's no other way to put it. Breeze is absolutely phenomenal.
Call him Febreze. Just spraying on them touchdowns downfield. No.
No Breeze.
Oh man.
Better than feeling breezy in here. That took a lot of thought.
Yeah, because Febreze was just so creative, wasn't it?
Well, who said feeling breezy in here?
I don't know, every ESPN analyst out there?
Well, at least they didn't say Febreze.
Yeah,
I'll give
Yeah,
him
because
that.
that would have been better.
I'll give him that much credit. All right, let's look at week 6.
All right, so week 6, I was kind of scoping ahead a little bit just to see some of these games. And
Yeah, good scoping there, bud.
I'll start you
all
off.
right, I got it. Eagles at the Giants Thursday night.
Giants win, division leaders. Maybe
Maybe
not.
2 and 4.
Man, we were just talking about how
Yeah,
shit they
and
are.
Eagles would also be 2 and 4.
Speaking it there.
Yeah,
Count it.
and then Eagles would be 2 and 4 also. I don't understand.
Eagles only favored by 3 on the road. I'm still going Eagles.
Yeah, as much as it pains me, I may actually be looking at the G-Man.
Eagles on the road.
I think I may be looking at
Dump pass how they're playing. I'm taking Giants too.
All right.
Especially if you got OBJ taking over QB.
Yeah.
Well, put your money where your mouth is, OBJ. Start slinging that ball.
Yeah, if you're real good, you'll throw it to yourself. Lob it up and outrun him. That's what Mariota does, so he's good.
God,
Here we go.
One
Here we go.
game. One game.
And then Sunday, we've got so let's start in the morning games. Buccaneers at the Falcons. Falcons favored by 3.5. I'm going Falcons.
I think I might take the Bucks. Even though they look like balls against the Bears, I think
They are coming off a bye.
they may squeak it out and get it together. As Atlanta, for as much as their offense is up until this past week has been rolling pretty well. They just can't seem to get it together and get some W's. So
Yeah, as big a fan as I am of the Falcons, I guess it's that defense. That defense sucks. My
You're going
God.
Bucks as well?
Well, you don't have Fitzmagic. You have Jameis Crab Winston.
well,
So
wrong. Fitzmagic is in his backup spot where you've nominated him for a Hall of Fame.
I'll give
Potential.
him that.
So,
Yeah. But he's a backup, which is why he's not playing.
well, all Jameis has to do is go out when he
I'm gonna
does
do
some
Falcons
balls.
because Jameis, he was never the high flying slinger that Fitzmagic was. I don't think Buccaneers will ever put up as much points as they did. I'm going Falcons. I'm going
not
Falcons.
quite sure what Fitzpatrick has done to just like warrant all these accolades from Phil.
He's a great backup, and then he has a shitty game, and everyone's like, "That's why he's back."
You give more praise to fucking Fitzpatrick than you do the people that have actually won Super Bowls for their teams.
Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
Why would no one give me love for that? That was hilarious.
Because it's awful. You give
Continue.
love to
I
Fitzpatrick.
pick Falcons. Continue.
Panthers at the Redskins. Redskins favored by a point. I'm
Really?
going Panthers. Only because they showed me last week that even when their defense is not that great, they can still put up enough points to win.
Yeah, I'm taking Carolina as well. Offense looks really good right now.
Panthers.
That'll be a good game, though. Seahawks at the Raiders. Seahawks favored by 3. Seahawks are good against the Rams. I'm going Seahawks.
Seattle all day. Raiders suck.
Yeah, from what I saw, they shocker. They're a running team. They found the run, and now they're winning. I agree, Seahawks.
Colts at the Jets.
Yeah, but they ran like over 600 yards
There you
against
go.
us.
Yeah.
Colts at
Shocker,
the
they're winning.
Put up 31 points.
Colts at the Jets. Jets favored by 2.5. I'm gonna go Colts, despite them being 1 and 4.
Yeah, I haven't seen any consistency from the Jets, so I don't think they're going to have another 200-yard Crowell day and Darnold throwing it for 3 touchdowns. I think I'm going Colts.
I'm going Jets. Despite the Colts' awesome football play, they're 1 and 4. I think the Jets just have more to offer. I'm going Jets.
Hey, they could sneak out there. They're only 2 games back.
Cardinals Vikings at what might be the biggest spread I've seen yet this year. 10.5 for the Vikings. I'm still going Vikings. And I would probably pick them against the spread. Cardinals against that bad.
Yeah, I'm taking Vikings as well.
Vikings. But despite preseason thoughts that the Vikings defense would be good, lukewarm. But still, I'm picking Vikings over Browns.
Steelers at the Bengals. Bengals favored by 2.5. This is a big division game because the Steelers got to figure it out. I'm going to go Steelers. I think they get it done.
I'm taking Pittsburgh as well. I think they do get it done.
This should be a good game. You best start the quarterbacks and all the receivers if you're smart.
Doesn't everybody start quarterbacks and receiver?
Their quarterbacks and receivers.
You're starting Dalton. What if Dalton's like my backup and I also have like Brady?
Well, I don't have Dalton, I have Goff. So, I'm just saying, if you have a choice, probably Dalton.
If Dalton's your starting quarterback, then you don't have a choice.
No, who's Brady playing?
I don't know.
The Chiefs. Yeah, the Chiefs.
Their defense is shit.
Yeah, their defense is balls.
I would still go. I think the Steelers defense
You're
is
over
shittier
managing
than-
over there if you're starting Dalton over Brady any week that Brady plays.
Who do you got? Bengals or Steelers?
Bengals.
Alright. Fair enough.
Are we going to remember this so I can throw it in your face there?
Well, we literally record it and post it online, so yes, I hope we would remember it.
Well, now I got to watch it. Okay. I got to watch it to remember what I said. All right.
Nice.
Chargers at the Browns. Chargers favored by a point. Well, since I talked shit about Philip Rivers and now I could name 7 quarterbacks better than him, I'm going with Browns.
I'm still taking the Chargers. I don't give a shit if the Browns won. I'm not picking them.
Philip is dying for him to pick the
Browns watch. Browns.
Any reason or just because you're on Browns a lot?
They play to win the game. It don't matter
So there
by
you go.
an inch or a mile. No, not if you're the Cowboys. And even if you have Garrett, you're not playing to win the game. Browns win against the Chargers. They in the come up.
I'll say they didn't come up. Bills at the Texans. Texans only favored by a point, but I'm going Texans at home.
Yeah.
The Bills play good at home. They're ass on the road.
Those are just ass. I'm taking Texans.
Those wily Bills. We got Texans.
And then we got Bears at the Dolphins. After the Dolphins started 3-0, they've lost 2 straight. Bears favored by 3. I'm going Bears.
Taking Bears. Defense is phenomenal. Offense is starting to roll.
Bears. I'm curious to see that offense keep rolling and see what happens. But yeah, Bears still.
Then we got Rams at the Broncos. Rams favored by 7. Still going Rams.
Yeah, I'm taking Rams still too. That offense still, it's as shoddy as the defense has been. The offense has still looked very good. Gurley's a monster. I think they take it.
Both Cooks and Cup concussion protocol still haven't been cleared to play for this game. But regardless, Rams.
It is also only Tuesday, so.
I thought the concussion protocol
They
was
normally
like,
practice until
hey, how many
Wednesday.
fingers am I holding up? You're good to go. Get in there, young fella. They were out the rest of the game.
Oh, in the olden days,
Not
yes, that
anymore.
was.
Not anymore.
They were out the rest of the game.
Before, it was like, are you breathing? Okay, you're playing.
To this day, they still haven't had confirmation.
You probably won't have confirmation until Friday.
As much as that scares me.
'Cause
But you still have Gurley, you still have Woods. I'm still taking our offense to pull it out. That fucking defense better do something.
Then you've got Ravens at the Titans. Ravens are favored by 3. Both teams are 3-2.
I don't know. The Titans are super fucking inconsistent in how they play, so it's hard to pick.
And they're good at home. I'm going to go Titans only because they play so good at home. But it is disappointing that they now need to beat the Ravens to stay above 500 when they could have just beat the Bills and been 4-1 instead of 3-2.
Should have beat the Bills. Yeah.
Should have beat the Bills.
Did you have a missed field goal to win?
We actually made a field goal to take the lead, and then Hauschka for the Bills made a 50-yard field goal to win as time expired.
I'm taking Baltimore.
No, any reason there. Just cause.
I've made my reason clear. Super Bowl winning quarterback Joe Flacco.
Ugh, Titans.
Leads in big.
He's only picking the Titans because he said Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Still wouldn't have chosen them.
Then we
Thanks for
got-
dropping that touchdown pass, Crabtree. Yeah, you're on my team. Come on now, son.
then we got Jaguars at the Cowboys. Jaguars favored by 3. God, this is going to be the worst quarterback game of the year. I'm still going to go Jaguars. It's going to be just whichever team throws the least amount of interceptions, because there's going to be probably at least 3 on each side.
I'm taking Dallas because I think Dak throws less interceptions than Bortles because he blows.
I was gonna say, if that's your criteria, I would take the Cowboys, but
So I'm taking Dallas.
I don't know. They're ugly. I'm taking Jags just because they have by far and away just a better defense.
And Sunday night, Chiefs-Patriots.
Good game.
Despite the Chiefs being 5-0, the Patriots are favored 3.5. They are at home. And I think a lot of people give to the Belichick will know how to kind of scheme and confuse Mahomes and
Keep them in Belichick.
I'll give you that one. That one wasn't too bad. That one wasn't too bad.
I'm not giving you anything on that one. That was awful.
That was off the fly too.
It showed.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep him in Belichick. God damn it. Well, the Chiefs will be hunting for a win in Foxborough. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs still. I think Mahomes pulls it out. Not enough avocado ice cream for Brady this week.
I think
Brady
New England
will-
takes it.
Yeah.
I think Brady's starting to get weapons back. Their offense is going to get going. Their defense is, it's okay. It's nothing crazy. But I think Patriots will take it.
You think Brady's going to score in bunches? Brady
Wow,
bunch?
yeah.
I'm not giving you that. I got where you were going. I'm going to give it to you.
This one's tough. Because you got flashiness versus better coaching, better strategy. Shit. Just because it's in Foxborough, I'll take Patriots. That's a tough call for Mahomes.
All right, and then Monday night, this might be the worst Monday night game yet. 49ers at the Packers.
Agreed.
Packers favored by 9.5. I'm going Packers.
It's a Monday night game?
Yes.
Oh my god.
By the way, we were talking about this before. I know you guys are still. Are you guys going Packers?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think that's a debate.
I was bitching before our podcast started about the damn games in London that start at 6 a.m. Week 7, the Titans fucking played. 6:30 a.m. against the Chargers. Must be some stupid ass shit in London.
Wake up, young fella. You could watch the game on Prime.
I don't even know where. Yeah, it's at Wembley Stadium. Sweet. Well, at least the Chargers are the home team, so they basically lose the home game because of that. But that's okay because they're playing on a damn soccer field.
Calm down, Ben. It's soccer. It's soccer.
How do you sound like it?
Okay, you do it then.
That's
That's also what I was going for.
Oh,
Let's go. I'm not drinking from the shots. No! I'm literally saying word. Have you never seen I Love You Man?
I have.
It's like, he goes to he's like, the guy's like helping him bench and he's like, everything you got, everything you got.
Oh my god.
But he's the guy that he goes to the sarcasm. He's like, here we go.
Oh, okay. The Minotaur guy. Is that him?
Yes, but that's him.
It's a
But
different
another
movie. I know, I get it.
Now he's confusing the people.
Oh my god. Some serious miscommunication from the Coach Potatoes here. As far as what movie references we're trying to pull out.
I don't know how you can say it right every time.
Because it's not that fucking hard.
We'll see if I can do it next week.
Alright. So we're going to wrap it up there. Obviously, like, subscribe, listen to us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter.
Do you put like a thing?
We'll try to be more active.
Wait, hold on. Forgot the dad joke.
Oh, Jesus. Alright, let's get a fucking dad joke.
We didn't, that's when
Alright, what's the dad joke this week, Ben?
Why didn't the elephant get the job he wanted?
Why?
Because his qualifications were irrelevant.
Wow. Wow. There's no coming back from that. Alright.